Okay, so again, I was saying in this video right here, October 11th, 2014, that if the strike zones on the Batman map represent a series of asteroid impacts that will precede the big one, and if strike zone 1 on that map is this hook of Texas where Sandy Point is, in other words, Sandy Hook, and I explain the reasons why that's a probability, because this looks like Texas and the 35 freeway goes through there, which is right here. So I was saying if this area right here represents strike zone 1 and the strike zones represent the meteorite impacts preceding the big one, then this area of Texas, I said, might be the first meteorite of the 5 that are coming. And it would be the smallest one, obviously. So I'll play this clip real quick so you can hear it. And you can, I'll leave the link below so you can go watch this video again if you want to. So that's why I'm paying attention to it. And the cut, he also showed the cut in the land right here where the curve of Texas is, where Sandy Point is. And so that may actually be their predicted location of the first impact when this thing starts. Because Sandy Point, Texas, you know, on the Batman map, the 35 goes through Sandy Hook and the 35 goes through Texas right here. See that curve right there? And Sandy Point is located on the hook of Texas. You see what I mean? So that's strike zone 1. And so maybe it's actually predicting that the rain of fire and brimstone, the first large one, will hit right about here. I don't know that. I'm just saying that might be a possibility. So if something does hit here, obviously it wouldn't be the biggest one because the biggest one would be last. But if a meteorite does hit in this area, I would say that would be our first clue that the big one is about to hit. Okay, so you heard what I said. I said if a meteorite does hit that area, that might be our first clue that the big one is about to hit. If the strike zones represent 5 meteorites. If that's true, and I don't know that it is, but I mean, considering the fact that we just had a meteorite hit that area on our watch date, November 9th, the date that the whole Elenin thing was talking about. I mean, no way that's a coincidence, okay? But if, I don't know, again, I don't know, but if that is strike zone 1, then strike zone 2 may also represent the next meteorite, which would hit, according to this, if this is correct, if this is the correct way of interpreting the map, and I think it is, if it is, the next meteorite would hit somewhere in the northeast. Because I don't know if it's this area here, which might be Canada, or if it's this area over here, because remember we were talking about that in this video. You can go back and watch this video. But now you understand why this meteorite that the sheriff's department reported shook the ground when it hit is so meaningful. I mean, this is bizarre. I mean, every now and then someone will comment on my channel and say, Nania, you are right on the money. And that's it. And I wonder, okay, which part are you talking about? But I mean, what if this is what they're talking about? What if this meteorite was part of the cluster we've been talking about for the last couple of years? I'll try to remember to link one of those videos below. I think we talk about the cluster in the 7 Trumpets video. I know I talk about it in the ebook as well, but basically the ancient prophetic texts seem to indicate it's a cluster. Some hit the sun and some hit the earth. That's why the earth is scorched by the sun at the same time it's being impacted. So this may actually be strike zone 1 on that Batman map. It may have just started with this meteorite right here. That the map indicates there's 5. I mean, I don't know that. I'm just saying maybe that's what's going on here. But you may have also noticed that comet landing that occurred this last Wednesday. For the first time ever, I guess, a spacecraft successfully landed on a comet. And I'm not sure why they named the craft after the Egyptian Rosetta Stone and after an island in the Nile. I don't know what that's about. But the thing I noticed about this is it's another event that was depicted in the movie Deep Impact. So remember all these things from the movie that turned out to be real events after the movie released? Well, another one just occurred a few days ago. I mean, why are so many things depicted in this movie coming to fruition years after the movie was released? I mean, was it their plan all along? I mean, does this movie depict what is really about to happen? I mean, did they land on the comet that is coming our way that they think is going to impact Earth? I mean, obviously, they would not tell us if it was, not wanting to create mass panic. But these events, this is not coincidence. But that's not the only thing. Just yesterday, these videos right here came into my subscription feed back to back from the Associated Press right here. Comet craft starts drilling. Well, that was another, that was also depicted in the movie Deep Impact. You might remember they drilled into the comet to plant explosives to try to destroy it before it impacts Earth. This is a scene from the 1998 movie right here. So on Wednesday, they landed on a comet. In real life, they landed on a comet, and for the first time ever. And yesterday, this video from the Associated Press was uploaded saying they have started drilling on the comet. And right after this video was uploaded on the same day, just a few hours later, this video from New Scientist was uploaded. And it says how a collision with Earth could create a moon. So that just tells us what is on their minds right now while that spacecraft is drilling in that comet. They're thinking about an asteroid impacting the Earth for some reason. And here's the other thing. I think that the rescue that the biblical texts talk about, I think that's also being depicted in this movie as well. Because this character here says to this character, if you marry me, I can get you into the ark. And in this scene right here, they're on their way up to the mountain while the comet is coming down. And that's the same exact timeline the prophetic texts indicate. The mountain of God is the safe place in heaven. It's known in code as the wedding feast in the Bible, and the survivors are known as the bride, quote unquote. So it's also interesting that the movie does not depict the bride and the bridegroom. That's who they are. Because they actually get married right before this. But it's interesting that it does not depict the bride and the bridegroom right here as surviving by going into the underground bunkers. Because remember, in the movie, they build the underground bunkers in the Ozarks, and some people are shipped off there to survive. We know they're doing that in real life, by the way, building those underground bunkers. But that's not where the bride and groom end up in the movie. They go up to the mountain to survive, which is exactly what the prophetic texts say. The texts say, those who hide in the mountains, inside, underground, it says, those who hide underground will not survive. That's in Amos 9. So the texts say the only way humans can survive this event is if they are saved by the Elohim and go up into the mountain of God, which is off planet, for the wedding feast. This is what it's called in the text. So I mean, this movie seems to be spot on with regards to the prophetic text. So something is going on here. I mean, all these accurate predictions. Look at this. Either this was their purposeful intent to execute this plan right here all along, or something. I don't know, but this is not a coincidence. And the question is, why now? I mean, the comet landing, it just happened the other day. It's going on right now, I think. The comet landing in the movie happens around the same time the comet impacts the Earth, because remember, they are returning from the comet when the asteroid impacts the Earth. So, I mean, if this impact is really coming, then it seems like it will be soon. And the texts seem to say the escape is before the impact. I mean, we can't be sure what will happen, what will actually happen. But I've listed the scriptures here, some of them, as the reasons I think this right here is the order of events that the prophetic texts give, the Bible basically. This isn't a complete list by any means. It's just a few of the important points. But these here are the events on the biblical timeline that have already occurred, just as they were predicted to occur. And the fulfillments of these events did highlight New York City. You can check out Daniel 9 fulfilled in 2009 and Daniel 12 fulfilled in 2012. That's linked below. But the book of Daniel says the desolation will be in the midst of the week and will be caused by a flood. So based on the fulfillments that have recently happened, it appears that we are in that week now until 2016. And the timeline also seems to highlight the holiday season. Revelation says the beast will kill the two witnesses after the people are making merry and sending gifts to one another. I mean, for that you can watch the Revelation 11 video. I'll try to remember to link it below. Some of those words were not translated correctly in the standard Bible translations. So that's what it's actually saying. The two witnesses will be killed after the people are making merry and sending gifts to each other. Again, I'm not trying to ruin anybody's holiday season here. I love the holidays. This is my favorite time of year. But these pieces of the puzzle are coming together perfectly, though. I'm just telling you. And the texts say the escape occurs before the two witnesses are killed at the start of the 42 months or the 1260 days of tribulation. It does say that. That's not wishful thinking. It does say that. Well, we don't know when that tribulation will end exactly. So we can't know the day or the hour because we don't know when the tribulation will end exactly. But Gabriel told Daniel it will all be completed 70 Shabuah after the decree goes forth to restore Jerusalem. And remember, he specifically told Daniel the prophecy was about the end time. So there's this list of things that have to happen first, and they have happened in recent years. The UN decree to restore Jerusalem went forth May 14th, 1948, and 70 years after that will be May 14th, 2018. We don't know for sure if Gabriel meant 70 years because that word Shabuah, it also means 70 plus 7. But if it does, the exact 42 months prior to that anniversary started yesterday, right here. And the 1260 days prior to that 70th anniversary will start December 1st. So I'm not saying that's the rapture date. Not at all. I'm not saying anything at all will happen on that date. I don't know the day or the hour. Nobody does. And we shouldn't be... In my opinion, I don't think anybody should be saying that they know the day or the hour. And that is definitely not what I'm doing here. I don't know the day or the hour. I'm just pointing out the season. I'm pointing out that it does appear that we are in the season. And I mean like right now. As in literally yesterday. You know what I mean? We are in the season. So, okay, I have to stop this part right here. The link to the next part is below.